Hi, I'm Andrew Wasson. Thanks for tuning in again to one of my guitar blogs. It is Saturday, July 16th, 2011, and I had a question sent in to me from Christopher. He lives in Ottawa, Ontario. He just wanted to know what exactly is a cadence. Well, the cadence is a movement of ordinarily two chords, and they can be triads or sevenths, and basically the movement marks the end of a phrase or the completion of a piece, or it could even be the completion of a section of a piece. Maybe if you have a larger formal structure of a song, it can basically complete that to move you into another section of the song. So now, essentially what you want to be aware of before you get heavy into this stuff is you want to understand the principal triads that are used in a key. So that's very important to know. If you're in a major key, and for our examples in this video, we'll just use F major. So if I look at the tonic, sub-dominant, and dominant families, and I'm in the key of F major, they would all be major chords. So that would be F major, B flat, and C major. Now, if I went to natural minor, they would just convert all to becoming minor chords, minor triads. If you went to harmonic minor, for instance, because you got to remember, minor has different forms. So harmonic minor would have a 1 minor chord, F minor. B flat would also be minor, but the 5 chord would either be major or dominant seventh, back to the minor root. Now, when you go to melodic minor, it's a little bit different again. Melodic minor has a 1 chord that's minor, the 4 chord is major, and the 5 chord is either major or dominant seventh, back to the tonic again. So you have to remember that minor has these 3 scale forms. So as you study this stuff and you go through every form in minor, you'll want to keep all this in mind and try to really get these down in each of your keys. Okay, so with that out of the way, let's move on to the whole cadence thing. So when are cadences applied? What are these all about? So they basically operate around 2 main principles. You'll have authentic cadence and you'll have plagal cadence. And I'm doing a very basic overview here, so bear with me if you know a lot about this stuff and you're just viewing this video for fun. But basically, in a very general sense, there's authentic and there's plagal. So authentic is when you have a tonic and a dominant relationship that you're working with. So for instance, if I went from a C major into an F major, that would be considered an authentic cadence. Plagal would be going when you have the 4 chord involved. So if I went from a B flat major chord to an F major chord, that would be considered a plagal cadence. So that's sub-dominant family, if you're familiar with your chord families. So if you go dominant family to tonic, that's authentic, or vice versa, because it can work the other way. Also, plagal is going from the 4 chord to the 1 or the 1 to the 4, and we'll talk about those relationships a little bit as well, about how you can go back and forth with those. But basically that's it, your authentic and your plagal cadences. And the thing up next, the next level deeper on this stuff is basically when you're getting into the different types of authentic and plagal cadences, and they're identified as 3 kinds. You have perfect, imperfect, and half. So let's start with perfect. Basically, when you have a perfect type of resolution, what's happening there is the soprano tones surround, the upper register tones surround toward the root of the tonic. So if I have a situation like maybe a C major chord coming to an F chord like that, where I have the E coming to the F, or maybe a C major with a high G on top coming to that F, that would be considered a perfect type of a resolution. Now, when we deal with imperfect, that's when we have the final tonic triad resolving with the 3rd or the 5th up top. So that could be a resolution when I would take perhaps like a C major chord with maybe a G on top even, and I would move that into an F chord with an A on top. So you see the 3rd is on top. Let me get one with the 5th on top. If I go higher on the neck and I had a C major chord with its C root on top, and I keep the C root on top, and I go to an F, and I keep that, the C is the 5th of the F, so now we've just executed an imperfect type of resolution. So the last one to take a look at is half. So with a half idea, we're basically looking at going to another note other than a tonic. Like it would be as if I took an F chord and I went into a C chord. So that's a half cadence. Now you got to remember with these, they would normally occur in the middle of a piece and somewhere where you're kind of wrapping up a section of the piece and you're going to go on to another section. That's normally where those types would occur. So when you hear all these, it's not hard to tell that the perfect provides us with the strongest implication of finality when we're wrapping things up. So that 5-1 resolution, that's the strongest one. If you're in minor, probably most people would say that the 5 as a dominant coming around to the minor would be the strongest there. So basically that's it. Those are cadences. They're resolutions. That's all there is to it. Essentially, a cadence basically marks the end of a phrase in music. And it essentially combines authentic or plagal with the forms of them, which are basically perfect, imperfect, or half. When they are basically executed. So hopefully that helps you guys out, and that's all the time I have for today. I have to go and do a gig out of town, and I'm going to be on the road for a while, so I got to get out of here. But thanks for watching and for sending in all the great questions. Have yourself a great weekend, and I'll catch up with you next time. Bye for now.